Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
Good morning, or should I say afternoon when we're actually recording this episode. How are you doing out there, friends? This is our post-eclipse episode on the 13th of August 2026. Of course, many of you are listening to this in the morning of the 14th. Happy Friday to you. You're in the future. It is still Jueves for us. How are you doing? Hopefully a lot of you got to see and enjoy the eclipse. I went to Guadalajara to watch it. It was incredible. And I think the thing that I left the eclipse feeling was that everything is enjoyed better in the company of other humans. The same thing that makes music festivals special is the reaction of the crowd, because as soon as totality hit, I think it was 1 minute and 7 seconds of totality, where the moon completely covers the surface of the sun, and the corona was visible. Just immediately, the crowd just was in awe. Oh, wow, this chorus of surprise and shouting. It was just amazing. Just a beautiful, beautiful experience. How was your eclipse? More to the point, again, join us, twitch.tv/barra Professional Bohemian. That's Bohemio Profesional, pero en inglés. You can also, of course, interact with the show outside of our lifetimes. You do that on my Instagram, which is at @Professional Bohemian. Or if you're extra specially cool, sexy, charming, handsome, you can join me on my Patreon, where you get access to all the VODs of the show, especially important in the summer because you get better quality VODs. And as well as that, some original series that I have worked on in the past that are not available anywhere else. So please do consider joining me there. You can join for free and have access to most of that stuff. What else can I tell you? Well, next week, friends, I'm off on Monday and Tuesday. Ooh, finally a few days off this summer. So I'll be back on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. No particular week agenda. I'll pick 3 interesting unpopular opinions, and then the week after that, we'll get back to the voting. And again, you can vote on the unpopular opinions on my Patreon, patreon.com/barra Professional Bohemians. Anyway, let's see who's joining us. Immediately, we've got the Bridge here, who's having trouble both seeing and hearing the stream. So essentially, she's just watching a blank screen right now. Bridge, I really do appreciate your effort. She says, this was going to be my eclipse yesterday behind the clouds. Lots of stuff going on, but I can't take part. Oh, Bridge. I see Artemisa, who's also joining us, is trying to help her out. I watched it too, says Artemisa, with my family and friends and Monse. It was great. I couldn't see the corona with the eclipse glasses on. Athul Dan's joining us. She says, had an excellent view in England, not a cloud in the sky. I'm really happy to hear that everybody got to enjoy the amazing eclipse yesterday. Vero's here. Good afternoon, my beautiful bohemians around the universe and beyond. Predictive writing is dangerous. I wrote, good afternoon. My phone immediately put beautiful warriors, non-dirty, filthy lurkers. This is Sparta and we are its warriors. We saw the eclipse in Colmenar Viejo. Amazing. I bet. Did you get to see the totality in Colmenar Viejo? As I said, in Guadalajara, 1 minute and 7 seconds of the corona. It was amazing. Amazing. Although I am quite tired today because it took us a while to get back home from there. I watched it through a welding mask, says Athul Dan. Athul Dan, that is amazing. You're gonna get a round of applause. Come on. Where needs must. I love it. Watching it through a welding mask. You know, I actually bought glasses on Amazon, counting on the next day delivery, and the glasses were actually amazing to watch it through. Let's see. What else do we have going on? Good afternoon, dear Bohemians. How was Eclipse experience? Says Mike. It was so good. Yeah. Again, for me, I think the takeaway for me is that these things, these events, like a music festival, it's special not just because of the event itself, but because of the people, all the people, even the strangers that you share it with. My favorite moment when everybody gasped when the totality finally happened. It was amazing. No corona in Madrid, but I guess we have the royal family. Well, there you go. You've got a crown in some sense. Vero says you can see my pics on IG. I think I posted some statuses on my WhatsApp for those of you who have me there. Anyway, shall we see what's coming up in today's show? It's the penultimate of our mental health topics as voted for by you. Today's 100 Humans question is to name a cause of anxiety. What makes people anxious? Nombra una causa común de ansiedad. Today's unpopular opinion is constant reassurance makes anxiety worse. And the translation here, you can tell me if it's good or not. Constant reassurance makes anxiety worse. Buscar reafirmación constante empeora la ansiedad. Tell me if that's good translation or not. I'm not sure if it is. Yes, we had it, Mike, but you had to take your glasses off to see it, says Artemisa. All right. Let's see, where should we start? I suppose we should get to some news, shouldn't we? That's the order of the day. What to do, because I have two interesting pieces of news. I think we're going to go for, a little look inside of McDonald's loyalty surveillance machine. Yeah, McDonald's is spying on you. At least if you're one of their loyalty customers. So here we go. McDonald's built a 515-page dossier on me. It says I'll never stop eating there. McDonald's creó un dossier de 515 páginas sobre mí. Dice que nunca dejaré de comer ahí. Dudes, can I just be honest with you a second? I've just started reading Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. And in its totality, excluding the appendices, it's 480 pages. McDonald's has created a dossier on this journalist of 515 pages. McDonald's. This is why I refer to it as a surveillance machine. So let's dig in. The McDonald's loyalty app program may look like a simple way to earn deals, but this Wired article shows how much deeper data collection goes. So yeah, this article coming from Wired magazine, I will drop a link in my Patreon for those of you who follow me there. After requesting a copy of the information McDonald's had stored, the writer received a 515-page report packed with transaction history, loyalty activity, location patterns, and predictive profiling. The company had not only logged where the purchases were made, but also tried to forecast future visits, spending, and even the chance the customer would stop coming back. Okay, so I'll be honest with you. I'm not a member of the McDonald's loyalty program, but I do have the Burger King app, and I'm wondering, is this the kind of thing that every loyalty kind of app does? I'm starting to think it probably is. At least if you read this article, it seems to be. What makes a story unsettling is not just the volume of data, but how it is turned into a detailed behavioral picture over time. The report labeled the writer's habits, ranked likely menu choices, and treated routine fast food purchases as signals for long-term prediction. Privacy experts quoted in the piece say this is standard for many loyalty programs, but they also warn that the accumulation of seemingly harmless data can become highly invasive. The article ends by pointing to the power imbalance between customers and large companies, and suggests that loyalty apps may function less like reward systems and more like surveillance tools. Do you guys have any? For example, it might be your supermarket app, right? I have a Dia one, or I hear that the Carrefour one, which is a supermarket here in Spain, is quite popular. I mean, did you sign up because you thought the only win-win here was loyalty to the brand in mention, because it seems to be that they're getting a lot more bang for their buck here with the surveillance tools. Artemisa says they may as well have mics on their Star Wars water bottles. says Artemisa. If they did have mics on their Star Wars water bottles, I have 3 of them, so they've got amazing sound in my house. What's being said here, Mike? Isn't it dangerous to take them off in Madrid? I kept them on just in case. It was actually cool. The temperature dropped and it was quite dark. I saw it in a big park, Dehesa de la Villa, and the birds were flying in all directions. I used to live near La Dehesa de la Villa, and it's a beautiful park, yeah. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it too. For me, it was incredible. All right, friends, should we move on, or do you want one more piece of news? I think we're going to do one more very, very quick one. A study links short-form video addiction, because the reason I want to do it is because it's pertinent to today's topic. A study links short-form video addiction to a decline in teenagers' academic coping skills. Afrontamiento académico, coping skills, o habilidades de afrontamiento. Un estudio relaciona la adicción a los videos cortos a una disminución de las habilidades de afrontamiento académico en los adolescentes. Now, this study was done in China. It was covered by SciPost. Again, I will post the link in the description of the Patreon post. A new study suggests that active short-form video use may make teenagers less able to cope with everyday school stress. Researchers followed more than 1,500 first-year high school students in eastern China for a year and found that heavier short-form video addiction was linked to lower academic buoyancy, meaning a reduced ability to bounce back from routine setbacks like bad grades, confusing lessons, or stressful homework. The study also found that this effect may work by narrowing students' future time perspective, making long-term school goals feel less immediate and less motivating. The relationship appears to go both ways. Students with stronger academic buoyancy were less likely to develop later video addiction, while those with stronger future focus tended to cope better with school pressure over time. The authors caution that findings are based on self-reports and cannot prove causation, but they suggest that helping teens strengthen their connection to future goals could protect them from the pull of endlessly rewarding short-form video apps. Yeah, I mean, is this causation? Is this is short-form video addiction leading to a narrow view of the future, or is that narrow view of the future leading to consuming or the overconsumption of short-form video? It's interesting that they're linked, especially as it pertains to creating anxious students. And as we're on that note of anxiety, let's go to today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay, today's unpopular opinion is, let me just scroll. Constant reassurance makes anxiety worse. Buscar reafirmación constante empeora la ansiedad. So constant reassurance makes anxiety worse. There's lots of ways to look at this unpopular opinion. Is this the consequence of helicopter parenting, creating an overly dependent younger, or just a generation of overly dependent people looking constantly for reassurance rather than self-belief? Or is reassurance actually necessary in combating the symptoms of anxiety, and that's why it's being sought so much? It's an interesting one today. On Instagram, 73% of people 73% voted true. So let's dig in to the true column and see if we can get any insights as to why that is. So 73% voted true. Let's get in. Reassurance can teach the brain that anxiety was justified. When someone feels anxious, seeks reassurance, and then experiences relief, the brain can learn that reassurance was what kept them safe Instead of discovering that the feared situation was tolerable, they discover that anxiety must be neutralized whenever it happens. Yeah, again, this is very similar to that argument about helicopter parenting, right? Overprotecting or coddling, as we would say in the UK. Coddling kids fails to develop that psychological immune system, right? That psychological immune system that protects us from or helps us gauge mild stress, mild anxiety, and helps us teaches us that it's all survivable. I mean, to offer some kind of a rebuttal, reassurance isn't automatically harmful, is it? I mean, calm support can help someone regulate overwhelming emotion, especially when they're distressed enough that independent coping is just difficult. You know, if you can't cope on your own, is there anything wrong with seeking support from those around you? Let's get to the next point. Temporary relief. Relief is temporary, so the reassurance has to be repeated. Reassurance often answers the immediate question without resolving the uncertainty beneath it. Are you sure I didn't upset them becomes what if they were pretending? And then the other question follows. The person may gradually require more reassurance to achieve the same sense of safety. So I'm a big believer, right, in the idea that, you know, we need to develop when we're young a strong psychological immune system, that we need to be social and develop mechanisms for coping with stress and anxiety. You know, understanding that most discomfort is easily. I mean, I'm struggling for the word in English. I immediately go for is easily superado. Is easily overcome. Superar, overcome. That's a consequence of being in Spain too long, I think. But there is a danger, right, of looking at things like that in that way, because there is nothing wrong with receiving support. And here they're making the example that repeated support, because the relief is temporary when someone reassures you, that you're creating a need for more reassurance, that you're developing some kind of a dependency in the person that you reassure. Eesh. Repeated questioning can indicate that the reassurance itself is too superficial, I guess. I don't know. It prevents people from learning that uncertainty is survivable. Much anxiety comes from wanting certainty that life simply cannot provide, that a relationship is secure, and illness is impossible, decision is correct, or nothing bad will happen. Constant reassurance attempts to provide that certainty rather than helping someone discover they can function without it. Yeah, I don't know. I think when we kind of look at the reason for this anxiety epidemic we have in society, I think it's very easy to point fingers at parents and helicopter parenting and the fragility that is supposed to create, right? But that cannot be the whole picture, can it? The tolerance of uncertainty develops gradually. I mean, it's not something that they're going to overcome immediately. It's like your first shot at anxiety, the first time you feel anxious, you know what I mean, and overcome that. You don't immediately build that psychological immune system, do you? It happens gradually over time. Removing reassurance feels like abandonment rather than helping someone grow. I mean, isn't it cruelty that we call kindness? Not reassuring someone who's feeling anxious? I don't know. It can undermine confidence in personal judgment. If someone repeatedly asks whether they are safe, liked, correct, or making the right decision, they may gradually trust external opinions more than their own judgment. The more reassurance they receive, the less opportunity they have to discover that they can evaluate situations for themselves. And again, this just seems like too short-sighted for me. Seeking other people's perspectives is the sensible thing to do, isn't it? Rather than anxious or anxiety. I mean, human beings regularly rely on trusted people to compensate for their own blind spots. And independence should not mean refusing support, should it? I mean, you can be an independent, strong person and still rely on other people for their perspective. I don't know. It just seems like the door is swinging too far in the other way for my liking. Shall we do one more? I think we'll do one more in the pro column, agreeing that constant reassurance makes anxiety worse. Reassurance can become a ritual. What begins as comfort can become something the anxious person feels compelled to obtain before moving on. A partner may have to repeat that the relationship is fine, a parent may have to confirm that there is nothing to fear, or a friend may repeatedly analyze the same conversation. At that point, reassurance is no longer merely kindness, it's become part of an anxiety cycle. What do you guys think about that? Because personally speaking, I don't think giving repeated reassurance is a bad thing. I mean, if you have to reassure your parent, your partner, or I don't know, or anyone that you're linked with, anyone in your social circle, over and over again, surely you're doing them a kindness, not a disservice, right? Not every repeated need for comfort is pathological, is it? People going through grief, instability, or, a genuine uncertainty may reasonably need more reassurance. And surely that's not a bad thing, is it? And it doesn't make you a bad person for providing it. It's a tough one today because I'll be honest here with you. I'm very much in the middle of this one. Because I do believe in that psychological immune system. But I think the door cannot swing completely the other way. I do believe that, looking for confirmation or asking for other opinions or judgments, just receiving support is part of the human experience. And it shows that we care. Let's get into the cons, right? The constant reassurance does not necessarily make anxiety worse. Reassurance can create emotional safety. Anxiety can become easier to manage when people know they are not facing it alone. A trusted person saying, "I'm here," or "we'll deal with this," can reduce emotional overload enough for rational thought to return. I mean, I think the elves here in the pro arguments are really arguing from an extreme position, right? But if you've ever suffered from anxiety, I'm sure you know that when you have some kind of a support behind you, the obstacle you have to overcome doesn't seem as impassable. It seems more easier to manage, and that's what the support, or in the parlance, or in the way this unpopular opinion is phrased, the constant reassurance, all it does is make the problem easier to overcome. Because let's be honest, anxiety is a barrier, isn't it? And then bit by bit, even with support, overcoming those problems, you build that psychological immune system. Quite often it's impossible to do alone. Anyway, humans regulate emotions through other people. We are social creatures, and emotional regulation is not purely an individual task. Children learn safety through caregivers. Adults continue to calm one another through conversation, touch, and presence. Requiring complete self-regulation may mistake independence for psychological health. And don't get me wrong, I am quite an independent person, but I am in full recognition that I'm a social animal, right? And I need conversation, touch, or presence. I need maybe reassurance is perhaps a bad word to use here, but we need other people. We are social animals. And in order to overcome anxiety, we're not talking about fear here, we're talking about anxiety. Showing that there's a level of support there surely has to be a good thing, doesn't it? Some fears are genuinely reasonable. Not every anxious thought is irrational. Someone facing illness, relationship instability, financial uncertainty, or genuinely dangerous situation may need information and reassurance because there is something real to worry about. Again, we're not talking about just fear. We're talking about anxiety. Something, a fear of the future that has become chronic. I mean, what kind of people are we if we turn our backs on people who are suffering from anxiety? No, deal with it on your own. It will do you good. Are we really going back in time to those days? Withholding, we'll finish off here. Withholding reassurance can damage relationships. A partner who suddenly refuses to answer anxious questions may appear cold, punitive, or dismissive. If someone interprets therapeutic advice as never reassure an anxious person, they can turn healthy boundaries into emotional withdrawal. I feel like the idea of be cruel to be kind, simply put, is just occasionally to be cruel, isn't it? But anyway, I'm going to post a poll in the chat and you guys will tell me, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind the scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, ProBoh. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I don't know what time it is you're listening to this. It's perhaps the evening of the 13th or the morning of the 14th of August 2026, but welcome. It's our post-eclipse episode. Everybody sharing their eclipse stories. Mine was particularly beautiful. I enjoyed it a great deal. I think next year we're going to go and see the one in the south. It was just breathtaking. What did we look at? If you've just tuned in, we took a little dive into the surveillance machine that McDonald's operates. It was an interesting Wired article about a guy who is a member of McDonald's loyalty app, and he asked them for his details. He requested a copy of the information that McDonald's had stored. They sent him a 515-page dossier about his life and habits. Crazy. Again, I mentioned I'm currently reading Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, a book about cognitive biases. It's quite dense. Taking away the appendices, it's 480 pages. So McDonald's on this one person has more information than is within the book. Thinking Fast and Slow. Craziness. I read this morning and it immediately made me question all the loyalty apps I'm a member of. The Dia app, the Burger King app, the Papa John's app. Yes, don't judge me. It's a lot of fast food. I know. Anyway. And then we looked at a study conducted in China. Study linking short-form video addiction, la adicción a los videos cortos, with a decline in teenagers' academic coping skills, una disminución de las habilidades de afrontamiento académico in kids, in adolescents. Quite worrying. Yeah. Do me a favor. Follow Vaughan Radio on Instagram and no one else. You know, it's just that it's only educational content. There you go. Am I part of the problem? I'm part of the problem, aren't I? Anyway, and then we moved on to today's unpopular opinion, which is constant reassurance makes anxiety worse. Uh-oh, friends. I made a boo-boo. Thank you, Vero. Disminuación. Thank you, Vero. You're going to get a...
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Disminuación. Thank you. Constant reassurance makes anxiety worse. Buscar reafirmación constante empeora la ansiedad. We kind of took a deep dive into this one. I don't know, it seems unnecessarily harsh, doesn't it? The idea that if you're constantly reassuring someone, you're making their anxiety worse, rather than what you intend to do, which is, in fact, mitigate that anxiety or show the person that the problem they have is survivable. You're not creating a dependence, are you? Or are you? I think the debate is really about the difference between comfort and safety seeking, right? When someone we care about is frightened, the humane, I think, normal, natural instinct is to make the fear disappear. That's what we want. We care about the person. We want that discomfort just to disappear. We say everything's going to be fine. We, confirm that they've done everything, that they've done nothing wrong, that everything's going to be okay. And in the moment, I think it works. But perhaps, according to today's unpopular opinion, perhaps that's the problem. That the anxiety is learning from the relief, creating some kind of a dependency. But I think, and I've argued at some length on in this series, in this show over time, the ProBoh Show, that we need to encourage young people to develop that psychological immune system by being in social situations and overcoming problems and overcoming anxiety. But the opposite extreme, let's be honest, is still equally as problematic. Human beings are not supposed to become emotionally self-sufficient islands. We're not monoliths. Healthy relationships involve comfort, reassurance, and sometimes hearing the same thing over and over again. And to be an empathetic, nice person means to occasionally have to suffer the same kind of conversation with the same person over and over again, just to put their mind at ease. So it's a tough one today, I think. I mean, on the surface, it seems quite clear, doesn't it? Yeah. Constant reassurance. You're just creating some kind of a dependency. But at the end of the day, what are we trying to encourage here? Like emotionally aloof people who don't need you all? I mean, I think relationships that are interdependent give life meaning, don't they? Anyway, let's get to some of your comments, because there were some good ones here. All right, where are we? Vero says, true. Hang on, wait. Bridge here just before that says, of course, now I understand. It's the 13th and it will be aired on Friday. Totally makes sense. Yeah, exactly, Bridge. Sorry, we're one day behind for those who are listening in the mornings. In the afternoons, you catch us fresh. Vero says, true. Reassurance can help to get your goals. A little help is always useful. However, everything in life, as with everything in life, having it in excess can be harmful. Artemisa says, it's a tough one today. It is a tough one today. Athel Dan says, I only think it makes it worse if you need validation constantly. Here's an interesting question. At what point are you giving too much validation? At what point does it become a problem for you? At what point? Because, one thing you probably don't know about me, the confidence I project on the radio is not the confidence I have in my real life. And quite often when I finish a show, I will walk into the studio where Dan sits, who produces the show, and I'll be like, oh, that was a bad one. Oh, I did a bad job today. I mean, he can also almost predict it. So am I being too much of an emotional burden by looking for that validation from my colleague? Or is that just what colleagues do? At what point does it turn into an excess, into a problem, into emotional weight for you? And more to the point, isn't being a part of a community bearing a little bit of the community's problems or members of that community's problems? I don't know. Are we getting into the area of society becoming more and more too maybe individualistic? I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting for me anyway. Let's see. Mike says, one of the best ways of dealing with anxiety is embracing uncertainty. Think of a person who constantly asks ChatGPT about every single decision. That's likely the path to even more anxiety. Boy, I like that.
ProBoh approved.
I like that. Not the act of asking ChatGPT everything, but yeah, embracing uncertainty. yeah, is that the cure to anxiety? I mean, it's certainly not an immediate decision you can make. All right, from this moment on, embracing uncertainty. That's me, guys. Done. Anxiety over. I think it's something that builds over time, isn't it? Learning, turning fear into something that is just commonplace. I think it's something that happens over time, and anxiety can be paralyzing. And I think little by little, showing support, showing support and showing the people around you, the people that you care about. I think showing them that you're there and you can help them get over their problems, I think is not only a kindness, but it's also like you learn to ride a bike with training wheels, right? Estos ruedas a los dos lados cuando estás aprendiendo a conducir un bici, right? You have two training wheels. And isn't that what reassurance is? I don't think reassurance is carrying someone on your back. I think reassurance is giving someone training wheels, perhaps. But I'm speaking off the top of my head now while talking to you guys. I mean, you do make compelling arguments. That was certainly one of them. Where are we? And Atheldan says she agrees with that. Artemisa says, I'm not sure I agree with this as a general statement. Perhaps we need to distinguish between seeking reassurance and giving it. Constantly seeking it may reinforce anxiety in some cases, but giving reassurance can restore confidence and give someone the strength to carry on. Yeah, I agree. Training wheels, ruedines. Oh, Vero's on fire today.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
Ruedines, thank you. Disminuación. Not disminuación, but oh man, you guys are confusing me. Disminución. Okay. Sorry. My bad, guys. My bad. Okay, where are we? Yeah, so distinguishing between giving reassurance and seeking reassurance. I mean, here I haven't made that distinction in the unpopular opinion because I wanted the idea to be the reassurance itself. I think seeking reassurance perhaps may be unhealthy, or perhaps may speak to someone's insecurity. But the reassurance itself, is that a bad thing? I just don't think it is. Artemisa says, go easy on him. He's not getting any younger. Thank you, Artemisa. Disminución. My God. Your language. I'll be a perpetual student. Let's see. I had a friend who constantly sought reassurance about everything. It caused me anxiety, so I ended up ghosting her, says Athel Dan. Yeah, it's just interesting to me, like at what point it gets to be too much, At what point it gets to be too much, and I think there are different personality types out there, right? Some people more open to giving constant reassurance, and some people not. I have to be honest, my patience for reassuring people is quite, the tank is very rarely full, if you know what I mean. I do my best. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one today. I'm hovering somewhere in the middle today, I think. Which is probably a healthy place to be, if we're honest, aren't we? All right, Leon on Instagram says, I think so. If you constantly need someone to tell you everything is fine, you never really learn that you can handle uncertainty yourself. If you constantly need someone to tell you everything is fine, you never learn you can handle uncertainty yourself. I'm not sure that's true, if I'm honest with you. I'm not sure that's true. I mean, surely receiving some reassurance that everything is fine and then everything is fine only helps you learn that was good advice, that was good reassurance, that's correct. I'm not sure it does. Does it make? I mean, is the argument Leon's making here that it's creating some kind of a dependency, perhaps? Sophie Brennan says, maybe excessive reassurance is a problem, but sometimes hearing you're going to be okay is exactly what someone needs. Yeah. I think so. I mean, I don't know. With all these unpopular opinions, it's very easy, isn't it, to go to extremes. Oh, constantly seeking reassurance. I mean, let's be honest. That is the unpopular opinion. Constant reassurance. But, just telling someone that they're going to be fine, without that exacerbated tone. Oh, again, you're going to be fine. Without that exacerbated tone, like meaning it. Can be, it can be restorative for someone who's suffering from some extreme anxiety, can it? Arthur says, reassurance works for 5 minutes, then the doubt comes back and you need to be reassured again. That's the trap. Yeah, again, I'm going to go back to the analogy of the training wheels, right? Las ruedines. Thank you again for that, Vero. I think it's important. I think that's what reassurance is. I don't think it's carrying someone on your back. I think it's just putting on the training wheels for them. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Hey, look, maybe I'm wrong. And let's be honest, it wouldn't be a first. Manon says, there's a difference between supporting someone and repeatedly confirming that their fears aren't true. One builds confidence, the other can create dependence. Yeah, there's definitely more to this picture than a clear black and white, I think. Let's see, Mike says it's better to give confidence than reassurance. Yeah, but how do you give confidence, right? I mean, if we were to believe pop psychology, all you need to be confident is to spurt out some affirmations into a mirror every morning. I mean, that's not my idea of a confident person. Confident people, no, they have evidence of their ability, right? I'm confident sat in front of a microphone because I've done it for 26 years. And I know I've successfully done it, or to some level of success done it for 26 years. So it doesn't create any anxiety in me. Quite often, I think confidence just comes from a repeated pattern of success. So perhaps, yeah, I mean, perhaps it's just overcoming whatever is causing the anxiety time and time again. I just don't see the harm in a little reassurance. But of course, a little reassurance isn't the unpopular opinion today, is it? It's constant reassurance makes anxiety worse. Yeah. All right, should we get to the results of the poll? I think we probably should. All right, let's take a look. Sorry, I have to open up. Oh my God. I navigated away. All right, where are we? So I made the statement that constant reassurance makes anxiety worse, and you guys said 50-50. 50-50, friends. I'll take it. Why not? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. I mean, look, and again, I can't, as I've done for years on this show, say, we need to build a psychological immune system, and then today of all days say, that's not true anymore. As always, I try and offer a bit of nuance. It was, of course, very heavily swayed in one direction on Instagram. Around 74, wasn't it, % of people voted true today. So yeah, I mean, I think reassurance feels like the antidote to anxiety because it works immediately. But immediate relief and long-term recovery are not always the same thing, are they? The best reassurance doesn't promise that everything will be fine, I guess. It helps someone reach a point where they no longer need that promise. It doesn't, that the reassurance is the training wheels. That they are still, the person who's taking that reassurance is still doing all the work. Right? Maybe perhaps instead of saying everything will be fine, or you've overcome this before, or I've seen evidence of this happening in the past, perhaps just helping them build that psychological immune system is the best way to reassure. I think the goal is not, I know nothing bad will happen. It's, I know you can cope even if I don't know what happens next. But on that note, friends, you know what Grandpa Bo would say? He'd say, Rob, that's just your opinion, and opinions, they're like buttholes. Everyone has one, they all stink, including mine. Let's move on to today's 100 Humans. Oh my God. It was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys, and on that walk, I encountered 100 humans and I asked them all a question. Today's question is, name a common cause of anxiety. Nombra una causa común de ansiedad. I asked them that question, they gave me their answers. I'm in possession of the top 7 answers right here. Your job in the audience is to identify those top 7 answers. All right. Artemisa says work, as does about 90% of the people on Instagram. Work, says Artemisa. Also Athul Dan, Juana Reo, Fran, who else? Oh my God, just a lot of people on Instagram. By the way, thank you, Coco Lavanda, Athul Dan, Emily, Juana Reo, Arancha Delgado, Fran, Ivan Samroff, Pedro, Ivan GP, Mia, Anna, bueno, a lot of you. If I don't read out your name, I still love you just the same. All right. So is work there? Yes, it is. Well done. My God. We're off to a good start, friends. Work is there with 30 of 100 humans. It's the number 1 answer. Ole. All right. Notifications on my phone. Oh, I love that answer. The constant pestering of that device that lives in your pocket is notifications on your phone there. No. It's not, but it's going to get.
ProBoh approved.
Yeah. You know, my phone is constantly on mute. And the most frustrating thing about working from home is I feel the obligation to have the sound on, and I hate it. I hate it. Anyway, genetic predisposition. Genetic predisposition, says Vero, to anxiety. Is it there? It's a great answer, but no, it's not. Artemisa says, arguing with your partner. Arguing with your partner. Well, let's just say relationships, right? Relationships. Relaciones. Is relationships there? Yes, it is. Well done. Vero says hormonal changes. I'm glad you said that and not me. Is hormonal changes there? No, it's not. BB says, how you doing, by the way, BB? It was BB. Did I correctly say BB said notifications? BB also says money problems. Money, dinero, is money there? Yes, it is. I say BB's on fire today. Money is there. 28 of 100 humans, the number 2 answer. All right. Sensitivity of the nervous system, says Vero. Sensitivity of the nervous system. Good answer, but not there. Running late. Running late. Eesh, running late to what? I might say, and we've already had work. Yeah, I mean, running late isn't there. It's not there. It's not there. Sorry. Yeah, let's see. To play the stock market and public speaking. Wow, Artemisa. The stock market and public speaking. Are they there? No, they're not. Great answer. You know, public speaking is the number 1 fear among many people. Who was it? What's Jerry Seinfeld famously said, because I think number 2 fear is death. So people would rather be in the coffin than giving the eulogy. All right, let's see. Travel, says Athul Dan. Yeah, travel makes me nervous. I'm going to be honest. It makes me anxious. Is travel there? No, it's not. It's a good answer. Not there, though. Social events, says Mike, or social situations, let's say. Situaciones sociales. Is social situations there? Yes, it is. Well done. We said work, right? For adults. What about kids? What might make kids give kids anxiety, make them anxious? If it's work for adults, what is it for kids? There you go. There's a clue. KNDY said relationships. Relationships is there. Welcome, KN. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Vero says schools. And Athuldan says exams. I mean, they're both in the same ballpark, aren't they? Schools. Colegio is schools there. Yes, it is. Jeezy Louise, guys. Visiting the dentist, says Athuldan. Well, I tell you what, Athuldan, I'm going to give it to you. Why the hell not? I mean, specifically the dentist isn't, but health is. So I'm going to give you dentist health. Okay, they say depression is focusing on the past and anxiety is worrying about the blank. There's your clue for the final answer. Depression is focusing on the past, but anxiety is worrying about the what. Mike has an answer. Oh my God, I didn't read any of the answers on Instagram. Having no goals or projects, says Coco. Athuldan, work, kids, spouse, anxiety and people, says Emily. Money, says Juana Reo. Mother-in-law. Life, says Arancha. Job, Fran. A meeting with the boss, says Ivan Samroff. Too much ambition. Some great answers on Instagram, but right now I see Mike and Artemisa both say the future is the future there. A cause of anxiety. Yes, it is. And oh my God, guys, you completed today's 100 humans. Oh, lucky you, you're on fire. Let's go through the list. Nombre un causa común de ansiedad, a common cause of anxiety. In position number 7, we had the future, futuro. In position number 6, we had social situations. In position number 5, we had school, colegio, especially if you're a kid, right? In position number 4, we had health problems, common cause of anxiety. Una causa de común de ansiedad. In position number 3, 8 of 100 humans said relationships, relaciones. In position number 2, with 28 of 100 humans, we had money. And finally, in position number 1, with 30 of 100 humans, we had work, el trabajo. Well done, guys. Okay, guys, I have to go for today, but I'll see you again tomorrow.